In this video, we're going to uncover one of the most untold stories in Africa right now. A story hidden beneath the ground itself. Burkina Faso's secret water project. This isn't just about pipes or pumps. This is about survival and sovereignty. And this could decide whether millions of Africans stay dependent or finally take control of their own future. Stay tuned till the end, because what you'll hear in the final part will shock you and maybe even change how you see Africa forever. This video is divided into sections for your better understanding. Section 1. The Hidden Crisis. For decades, Burkina Faso has been called a land of dust and drought. Rainfall was unpredictable. Rivers dried up in the scorching sun. Entire villages had only one option: walk miles to fetch water from shallow wells. Here's the shocking number. 40% of Burkina Faso's people still struggled to access safe water. But here's what almost nobody outside Africa realized. The water wasn't gone. It was buried. Beneath the cracked Sahel soil lay aquifers, massive underground reserves untouched for generations. The question was, who would dare to unlock them? Section 2. The Discovery. It began quietly. Local geologists working with farmers noticed strange patterns. Crops that grew strong even in dry seasons. Wells that never ran dry even when rivers did. Soon, studies confirmed it. Burkina Faso was sitting on an underground ocean of water. Think about that for a second. While the world mocked this nation as too dry for growth, the real truth was that the land had been hiding its greatest treasure right under people's feet. But finding water is one thing. Turning it into power is another. So the government drew up a bold plan. 500 new irrigation pumps across dry regions. The promise: to turn deserts into farms, to make hunger a thing of the past, and to prove that Burkina Faso could feed not just itself, but even its neighbors. Sounds incredible, right? But here's the catch: big powers were watching too. Section 3. The Mega Plan. By 2025, the first phase of the project began. Imagine this. Across dusty fields, brand new water pumps roared to life. Streams of water poured into irrigation canals, and for the first time, farmers saw their fields turn green even during the dry season. This wasn't just farming. This was independence. Each pump could irrigate dozens of hectares. Each canal could feed hundreds of families. And together, the 500 pumps meant that millions of people could finally rely on local food instead of imports. One farmer told a reporter, "Before we prayed for rain. Now we control our water. Our children will not go hungry again." But while villagers celebrated, far away in western capitals, alarm bells were ringing. Because this project wasn't just about food. It was about power. Section 4. The Global Stakes. Here's why this project is bigger than it looks. For decades, powerful nations controlled Africa by controlling its food supply. Loans, aid, food imports, all were used as tools of pressure. But if Burkina Faso could grow its own food, irrigate its own land, and control its own water, that entire system begins to collapse. Think about it. If Burkina Faso can feed itself, aid loses its grip. If farmers can irrigate year-round, foreign imports lose their market. If Africa controls water, Africa controls life itself. No wonder whispers began in Brussels, Paris, and Washington. Some analysts called this project economic rebellion. Because once you control your water, you no longer beg. You negotiate. But there was still one question. Would the pumps actually deliver? Or would they break under pressure literally and politically? Section 5. The Human Impact. To answer that, you don't need experts. You need voices from the ground. In Bobo Dioulasso, a woman farmer said, "For the first time I harvested maize in the dry season. My children eat 3 times a day." In a small Sahel village, a schoolteacher smiled. The kids no longer skip class to fetch water. They come to school with notebooks, not buckets. A young boy in dusty shorts laughed as he splashed in an irrigation canal. "Before, I walked 5 kilometers for water. Now water comes to me." These are not statistics. These are lives. But here's the part outsiders often miss. The pumps didn't just bring water. They brought confidence. Suddenly, people began to believe that their land could provide, that their nation could lead. And confidence, once it spreads, is impossible to stop. Section 6. The Risks and Pushback. Of course, no revolution comes without risk. Already, rumors swirl of foreign investors trying to buy stakes in the water system. Contracts drafted quietly, offering loans in exchange for control of pumps and canals. Some diplomats even hinted, if Burkina Faso insists on going alone, sanctions may follow. Sound familiar? It should, because this is the same pattern Africa has faced for decades. Build your own strength, and suddenly the world calls it a threat. But the people are not blind. In marketplaces, women whisper, "They taxed our gold. They took our cotton. Will they now take our water?" The pumps may be machines, but behind them lies a bigger question. Will Africa be allowed to own its own future? Section 7. The future. So where does this leave Burkina Faso? On one hand, the risks are real. Machines need maintenance, canals need guarding, and politics, both domestic and international, will always test the system. But on the other hand, the vision is clear. 500 pumps today, thousands tomorrow. Food for Burkina Faso first, food for Africa next. A model that could spread across the continent. Imagine an Africa where every dry land is irrigated, where every child eats from local harvests, where no nation can threaten hunger as a weapon. That is the promise of Burkina Faso's hidden water. So let me leave you with this. Burkina Faso's water project is not just about farming. It is about freedom. It is about dignity. It is about whether Africa will rise by its own hands or remain chained by dependency. But now I want to hear from you. Do you think this water project will succeed, or will outside powers try to crush it? Is this the start of Africa's awakening, or just one battle in a longer war? And most importantly, if Burkina Faso can control its water, what's stopping the rest of Africa? Comment your thoughts below, because this conversation is bigger than one project. It's about the future of a continent. And remember, stay tuned, because in our next videos, we'll dive into solar, gold, and digital projects that are reshaping Africa as we speak.